In the spirit of the Women, Peace and Security agenda, the Kreisky Forum for International Dialogue, Carnegie Middle East, and the Austrian Federal Ministry of Defense would like to seize the opportunity presented by the 20th anniversary of Security Council Resolution 1325 to commit to the promotion of women's empowerment in peace and security processes, and to use this anniversary as an opportunity to intensify the dialogue, national efforts, and international cooperation in the field of women, peace and security.
In challenging times like these, during which the pandemic demands even greater commitment from all of us, it is important to keep up the dialogue on women, peace and security. Also, one should not only look inwards at challenges on a national level, but also commit to foster international cooperation, being a cornerstone for the advancement of the agenda. Our roundtable workshop on the WPS agenda in the MENA region, planned for November at the Kreisky Forum in Vienna, had to be postponed to 2021. But we would like to give you a preview into what you may expect at our event, which focuses on the region facing challenges on multiple levels. Without further delay, we would like to introduce one of our speakers participating in the workshop, Dr. Salma Nims, Secretary General of the Jordanian National Commission for Women, elaborating on the Women, Peace and Security agenda and the implementation of the National Action Plan within the Jordanian Armed Forces.
I'd like to first thank the Kreisky Forum for giving me the opportunity to speak on the 20th anniversary of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325. It is very important for us at the global, regional, and national levels to take a stop and start thinking how much have we achieved 20 years down the line from taking such an important resolution. To ask ourselves how much have women been taken into consideration in peace and security. At a time that we look around in the world and we see that conflict, occupation, civil wars, crises, whether environmental or health crises, are still ongoing, sometimes increasing, especially with the pandemic that we're going through at the global level. We see that women are playing a very important role at a local level. They are clearly active agents in response in many situations. They are taking initiative in supporting negotiations at an informal level. However, we feel that there is still not enough recognition for that role, and we still see that women and girls are still the most affected victims of war, occupation, and conflict. Jordan has been one of the pioneering Arab countries even at the global level in responding to the resolution, specifically in the role of women in the security and in the army. Jordanian women have participated in Peace Corps. I think Jordan was the third country where women, the third country in participating in Peace Corps, and Jordanian women since 2007 have been participating in the Peace Corps. However, in 2010, Jordan established the coalition for the implementation of 1325, and it was a coalition that included the army, the security forces, the government, and civil society organizations. In 2012, we had a first draft of a strategy for the implementation of 1325, but unfortunately, till 2015, there was no clear action plan for the adoption and the implementation of the resolution, despite the fact that we had many efforts towards that. So for us, in 2015, we decided that it's important to have an action plan that could capture the efforts and the commitment of the Jordanian government in the implementation of 1325 and ensure that there is a framework that allows monitoring and evaluation, directing budgets towards implementation, and to also take the advantage of the potential of all stakeholders in contributing to that implementation, and to recognize that the civil society are playing an important role in it. In 2015, what was important for us also to take into consideration is that there were two very important arising issues in our region that were affecting Jordan directly. First, of course, the influx of the Syrian refugees, and you know that Jordan has been over the decades one of the a very welcoming country to refugees who are suffering from occupation or war. And in 2011, that influx increased after the Syrian crisis, and we knew that our plan has to respond to the needs of Syrian women and to see how we can contribute to women, peace and security in that aspect. Another area that was very important is the increasing violent extremism in the region and all over the world, to be honest. And this is an area that we know that it is cross-border, even if we do not have violent extremism in our country, but we needed to know that we are involved in ensuring the prevention of violent extremism and in protecting our youth from being recruited into such groups. And this is an area that also was taken into consideration in the plan. What makes our plan very successful, and it's becoming one of the best practices that are being documented at the global level, is that sense of ownership through which we have developed the plan. It was built on consultations that was carried around at a nationwide, which included women in refugee camps, and it included the civil society and the security sector and the government. Another important thing that we took into consideration is to actually, after we adopted the plan, before it is being endorsed by the government, we went through an important exercise of costing for the finances of the plan. We know that one of the most problems that are affecting the implementation of national plans for 1325 at the global level is the lack of funding. So by doing an exercise for costing, we were able to first see how much the government can budget for and towards the implementation of the plan. And actually the government has committed to contribute to partially to the plan around $2 million. The cost of the entire plan for 3 years was $9 million. That commitment has shown that there is a political will from the government of Jordan towards implementation. And after that, Jordanian National Commission, with the support of UN Women, we worked on mobilizing resources from the different donor countries that were willing to support such a plan. And we were successful in establishing a joint fund for the implementation of the plan that raised the full cost of the implementation of the plan. And the support came from the UK, Canada, Finland, Norway, and Spain. And this was a very important achievement that we take as a lesson, because this ensured that we will be able to implement the 4 pillars of the plan, not only focus on one pillar and leave the others. This is an area which affects the effective implementation of plans. If we focus on one part and we forget the other pillars, this would mean that actually even the parts that we focus on would not be successful. Our plan focuses on 4 areas. The first is related to the contribution of women in the security forces. The second is related to the prevention of violent extremism and the role of local community in that. And the third is the gender-sensitive services for victims of violence. And the fourth, which is very important, which relates to the social attitudes towards women participation in women, peace and security. I want to just reinforce now, as we're going through COVID, how it showed the role that the civil society in Jordan could contribute to responding to the crisis. They rose to the occasion and they proved again how important that civil society should be part of the response to crisis, and their role in implementation of 1325 is crucial to its success. We're at the next year, and this is the final thing I want to say, we will be assessing this experience. We will be coming to the last year of our plan, and we will be going through another consultation in order to start with our phase of JONAP 2. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity.